Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter.
Fight for both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course, I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat
The
anybody that I
much
step in.
anticipated fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is finally edging closer to happening. Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight champion, has been vocal about a potential showdown with Crawford, and now Crawford has responded directly to Canelo's comments.
Fighter, like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost.
This fight, which has been under discussion for months, promises to be one of the most thrilling in recent boxing history. Crawford, a champion in 4 different weight classes, will be attempting to take on the 168-pound division, a significant challenge that will pit him against one of the best boxers in the world. The rivalry between the two has already started to intensify, with Crawford and Canelo trading words, as they both eye a historic fight between 2 undisputed champions.
It won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently, and it'll be a well-fought fight for both of us.
In a recent interview, Canelo told a boxing journalist that Crawford doesn't have the kind of career wins that place him among the true champions. Canelo said, "I respect Crawford, he's talented, but he's only beaten one top fighter, Errol Spence. Besides that, he hasn't faced many other great fighters." Crawford didn't wait long to respond, hitting back with a message on social media. "So, of all the fighters I've faced, only one was good. Well, just remember what I said, because I've made good fighters look like nobodies before." This response added fuel to the fire and got fans excited for the upcoming showdown, which promises to be just as dramatic outside the ring as it will be
People
inside.
asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect there's.
During the same interview, Canelo admitted that he is open to facing Crawford, but added that he doesn't think he'll get much credit for beating someone from a lower weight class. "Crawford is a great fighter," Canelo said, "but some people say I should fight a smaller fighter like him instead of a bigger one like Charlo. It doesn't make sense. But if the money's right, I'll take the fight."
A small fighter like Charlo, he's big, which he's big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford.
Despite Canelo's somewhat dismissive comments about the fight, he added that if the money was right, he'd take the fight with Crawford. Canelo, who has been dominating the super middleweight division since 2021, would be defending his 168-pound title in this potential fight, which would see Crawford move up 2 weight classes to challenge him. Both boxers might even have a warm-up fight before they meet in the ring.
147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys say that.
Recently, Canelo confirmed that he has booked the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for September 13th, planning his second fight of the year. Bob Arum, who used to promote Crawford, believes that Crawford's ability to switch between fighting right-handed and left-handed could give Canelo trouble. Despite the weight difference, Crawford is a unique fighter, Arum said. "He's ambidextrous, and he can make his opponents go crazy because they train for one style and end up facing something completely different."
The champion.
Well, I wouldn't count Crawford out in any fight because Crawford has a unique talent. He's a great boxer.
Canelo had previously downplayed the idea of facing Crawford, but his position has changed after both fighters met with Saudi Arabian boxing promoter Turki Al-Sheikh in London earlier this month. Canelo had 2 victories in 2024, successfully defending his titles against Jamie Munguia and Edgar Berlanga. Meanwhile, Crawford moved up to 154 pounds and defeated Israel Madrimov to capture another title, further building excitement for the potential showdown.
And that's what happened to, what's his name?
Errol?
Errol,
Yeah.
Errol
Spence.
Spence.
It's still unclear whether Canelo will fight in May, though a possible match against William Smith is on the table. If Canelo wins that fight, he could regain his status as the undisputed super middleweight champion. The fight between Crawford and Canelo is expected to dominate boxing headlines in the coming months, even though it hasn't been officially confirmed yet.
There's loads of things going around at the moment, including a big clash with Canelo Alvarez. Can you tell us what's going on in that situation, and can that happen next?
We shall see, you know.
The buzz around this potential fight only grew stronger after Crawford's win in August 2023, where he became a champion in the 154-pound class. After that victory, Crawford made it clear he wanted to fight Canelo, who was still busy with other opponents. However, recent talks suggest that the fight may finally happen later this year. Canelo recently shared that he's open to discussions about a fight with Crawford. There's always a possibility, Canelo said, leaving fans excited about the prospect of this major boxing event.
And you absolutely deserve it. As I said, you're a pound-for-pound king. If it isn't Canelo next year, are you done from the sport, Terence?
I wouldn't say that. Right now, I'm just weighing out my options and looking for the best opportunities and options for Terence Crawford.
Amir Khan, who has fought both Canelo and Crawford, also shared his thoughts on the potential matchup. Khan acknowledged that Canelo's size and power could pose a significant challenge for Crawford. Canelo is a beast, Khan said. Weight divisions exist for a reason. Crawford is great, but fighting someone like Canelo...
Jamel Charlo playing out.
I think Canelo just outboxes. Well, no, doesn't outbox him, but I think just outpowers him and beats him to the punch. And you do give Canelo does have some sort of like decent.
Does Crawford need this fight? Not really. He's already a legend. But if the money is right, I get why it's tempting. Khan warned that although Crawford is incredibly skilled, facing Canelo could be risky, especially considering the size difference.
Rumors of Canelo and obviously your good friend, mentor, Terence Crawford. A lot of people a few years ago would have said that's crazy, but I think everybody, when they see the talent of Terence...
Shakur Stevenson, a fellow boxer, stated that he believes Crawford has the style to beat Canelo. Stevenson, a lightweight champion, has long been confident that Crawford's style is the key to defeating the Mexican champion.
He's a special fighter, pound for pound. I think many will say #1 in the world, alongside the likes of people like yourself and that great list that we've got at the minute. Is he the man to beat?
Crawford, however, is known for his movement in the ring. He typically avoids standing still and instead uses his footwork and jab to control the pace of the fight. A fight against Canelo, who is a powerful puncher, could force Crawford to adjust his strategy. Many believe Crawford's usual approach of avoiding heavy exchanges will be important, as Canelo's punches can be devastating. Despite the challenges, Crawford remains determined and confident, saying he is ready to shock the world when he faces Canelo. Crawford, who is now a 4-division world champion, would have to move up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo, a task that many believe is a tough one. But if anyone can defy the odds, it's Crawford. Crawford, the World Boxing Association champion in the 154 pounds light middleweight division, has promised to put on 14 ulls to compete in the highly anticipated bout, which would probably be the highest-paying day of his career. Stevenson was sure in his response. When asked if he believes Crawford will win that matchup, "I've been saying this for years now. I'm probably the first one that has been saying this even before Terence is saying this. I always thought that his Crawford style versus Canelo. I think he beats Canelo," said Shakur Stevenson. To talk sport boxing course, Stevenson makes it seem like Terence Crawford will stand toe-to-toe and trade blows with Canelo Alvarez. In September, however, that scenario seems unlikely given Crawford's usual approach when facing...
Honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody who is mentally as strong as...
He typically relies on movement, utilizing his jab and leaping into land shots before quickly positioning. Crawford doesn't stay stationary or engage in relentless attacks. His aggressive performance against Errol Spence was more of an exception, largely because Spence wasn't at his best following his car accident. It would be a little over a year, 13 months. You got to be very careful if you're going to take a fight above 160 pounds, because it's a new weight range, said Chris Manx on his YouTube channel about Terence Crawford taking a tune-up fight. It seems unlikely that Terence Crawford will take the risk of a tune-up fight against a super middleweight before facing Canelo Alvarez in September. If Crawford does compete in the weight class, it would probably be at a catchweight potentially around 163 or 164 pounds against a middleweight. Moving up possible opponents could include Aaron McKenna, Liam Smith, Austin Williams, or Chiron Davis fighters who pose minimal threat to Crawford and are ranked lower in the middleweight division. The Mexican superstar and Bud have seemingly been on a collision course for a few years now, following a blistering knockout win over Errol Spence Jr. in July 2023. Terence Crawford called for a fight with Canelo Alvarez, already a two-time undisputed champion. Bud wanted to move up 3 weight classes for more gold. However, the super middleweight champion had other business.
Terence Crawford called for a fight with Canelo Alvarez.
For his part, Terence Crawford moved to light middleweight last August, scoring a decision win over Israel Madov to earn World Boxing Association and World Boxing Organization gold. Following that win, there was again brief talk of a potential Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight. However, it appears that the bout may finally come to fruition, while Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have not commented on the report. The signs are there. Earlier this week, executive has helped arrange long-awaited bouts such as Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk and RRBBV versus Dmitry Bivol. In recent months, Alec has long advocated for Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, and he's made it clear that he's willing to pay for the bout as well. That, combined with this report and recent comments from Bud, show that the fight is likely indeed in the works. Taking to X earlier today, Crawford vowed to shock the world. For what it's worth, beating Canelo Alvarez will be an uphill climb for the third. Terence Crawford is an all-time great. He'll have to move up 2 weight classes to face the Mexican star. Then again, if anyone could defy the odds, it would probably be Bud. Renowned boxing journalist Julius Julianus later revealed another positive update, claiming that they are considering a September date for the fight. While nothing is officially confirmed, fans and experts have already started speculating and picking their winners. Terence Crawford saw and heard all that he needed in order
to come my way, and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electric fight.
The former 3-division ring champion and reigning World Boxing Association 154 pounds titleist is finally in reach of a dream fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez. Multiple sources have informed the ring that extraordinary efforts are being made to put the fight together for later this year. ESPN Deportes Julius Julianus suggested a deal is already in place. Other sources have suggested it can happen as early as May, though such plans sound extremely ambitious. Alvarez was in London for the inaugural Ring Award ceremony and made a point to meet with Turki Alal Sheikh, the driving force behind Riot Season.
How important is it that you've spoke with Turki Alal Sheikh?
Say again, please.
How important for you is it that you've spoke to Turki Alal Sheikh, and what did you speak about?
Look, I like to work with everybody.
Alal Sheikh and his group presented this weekend's ceremony, while also meeting with boxing royalty, including Alvarez, to discuss big business. In 2025, the moment Crawford heard his name mentioned, he rearranged his weekend plans. Unlike a genie when you rub his lamp, Crawford said, posting a picture outside London's Heathrow Airport on Sunday, "Once you call upon me, I appear to grant you one wish, because I'm a free genie, not one in cuffs." Alal Sheikh met with Crawford on Sunday, one day after he had productive talks with Alvarez about general business for the year ahead. 24. Alvarez is still putting together plans for a targeted May ring return to defend his ring. World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association, and World Boxing Organization Super Middleweight Championship. Crawford, who just moved up to junior middleweight in 2024, would advance another two.
Everybody, I'm a free agent and I like to work with everybody. And I like to have the doors.
Canelo Alvarez went to London to receive the recognition of the Ring magazine as Fighter of the Year, where he met Turkey Alec. And in an interview with the host, he acknowledged that there is a possibility of fighting Terence Crawford. There is always a possibility. We'll see, but there's always a possibility. We're here to do the best business, Canelo told The Ring when asked about his meeting with Alec and the possibility of agreeing to the fight against Bud Crawford. I'll be honest, I'd be very surprised if that fight happens. I think His Excellency has been pushing that fight. It didn't seem like it was something Canelo really wanted to do, to be honest, Hearn told Fight Hype after recalling a chat he had with the Mexican boxer about
stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and